Alright, to go straight to the point before any story, I just want to quickly review my trades for the first week of July, how everything went, and corrections that can be taken ahead of this new week of launching. Starting from last week Monday, now after last week Monday, I didn't place any trade because I was not able to do my regular review and journaling. It's one of my guidelines to make sure that I always do my review and journaling before taking any trade for the day. That's from Monday and going into Tuesday now. Now you can see Tuesday gave me a loss. So currently I am able to see when a trade is a good loss and when it's a bad loss. And this trade now is a very good loss because my bias for the day was to take a sell. And if you look through the rest of the day, market did sell. Alright, but me entering in the morning, market is not really giving me the opportunity to, or rather market did not just move in my favor at first. Decided to buy first and then get to form this trend line properly before selling. If I show you on the higher time frame, you understand what I mean by it got to form this trend line properly before coming down to sell. Alright, so if I did not take this particular sell and I waited after this trend line was formed from my strategy and entry model, I would have been able to get an opportunity that would have given me a take profit. Alright, now going into Wednesday. Now this trade was my trade of the week basically because it was this trade that tested me the most and a lot of lessons that I have to pick from this trade. As you see, the trade started from here, ran all the way there, almost hitting my TP, then slowly trying to take profit. Now this impulsive move that you can see with this impulsive candidate, it as a result of the NFT news that came up last week Thursday, and yeah, that's what gave the impulsive candidate. But leading up to this trade is where the story really is, because now beginning the day my bias was still a sell because at that time this trend line has not yet broken. So my bias remained a sell. That means I was looking for a sell throughout Wednesday, and leading up, I did not. The first mistake I would say I made was I was too rigid with my bias. Now I've told myself before that my bias can change in the middle of the day. It matters not whether what I see or what I feel, rather I should be fully non-emotional and fully mechanical towards the market. Now I've told myself that before, because of situations, emotional situations, I decided not to shift my bias for that day. Even after seeing this trend line break, I was still not sure. I mean, for a trend line to break with such an impulsive move, you should expect that immediately, and especially with markets coming down here. This gave us a higher low, and this gave us a new higher high. The first instance should not be seeing what is forming and structure changing. The first instance should not be alright, markets are going to come down, because this is almost like a double confirmation of the trend changing its bias, of the market changing its direction. Now the first mistake I made was I was blinded to that change. The second mistake is that I refused to respect this trend line break and see that market is now going in a buying direction, because I've seen multiple trend line breaks around here, because this trend line was around here before. So I saw multiple trend line breaks, although none were as impulsive as this. But I saw multiple trend line breaks. Yeah, we're just playing around the trend line, and even before this point, even before this particular point became a bounce, it first before acted as a trend line break. So, so yeah, it kind of clouded my decision making in this situation. So then that was the first mistake I made. Now what was the second mistake I made? Now it is in my rules that once I take a trade, I leave the trade open until it takes profit or stop loss. Now that's not bad in its entirety in itself. The next mistake I made was this trade now ran from Wednesday all the way to Thursday. Now if you remember at the beginning I said that every single day I first of all decided my bias for the day. That's what direction I expect the market to take before taking any trade. Now because I was already in this trade, the mistake I made was that going into Thursday I didn't do any kind of analysis of the chart to know what my bias for that day would have been. That was my second mistake, and probably the one that made this trade ending a loss. Alright, that was my second mistake. If I didn't make that mistake, I would have see this trade now. It came down all the way here, almost 18 TP, and it went all the way there. If I did the analysis and respected it, because I'm 100% sure that if I sat down to do the analysis, I would have what I was blinded to on Wednesday, the hits of the market movement, I would have seen it on that Thursday morning. Alright, now but not doing the analysis, I failed to see first of all the trend line confirmation and see the market changing its structure. So those were the two big mistakes that led to this loss. So it was a very bad loss. Corrections have been made, and after looking into the situation, that after my first personal review before making this video, I would have been able to get a buying opportunity somewhere around here, and then I would have ended the week in profit. Now that was basically the Thursday. I did not trade Friday because it was bank holiday in the US. So yeah, everybody is advisable to stay off market on bank holidays, especially when the country that is the main mover of the market is off. So then that was what entailed for the first week of July, ending of July, like the first week of July. So now we are going into a new week. Let's quickly do a top-down analysis and a directional bias for the week. Let's know what's our main focus going into the week. Now, first thing I do normally is delete last week's. First thing I like to do is to delete last week's trades from the chart. I just let myself as clean as possible. But for now, I'll be keeping it because I want to take proper records in my journal. I would have shown you my guidance solution journal, but I think for network purposes it's not loading right now. So let's go start from 4 hours time frame. It's always best to look at things from the 4 hours time frame, from a higher time frame rather than not necessarily before, to know what the bigger picture is looking like. Alright, so yeah, we're going somewhere now. Alright, so now we have multiple trend lines here, and let me just go straight into it now. The first thing I'll be doing is deleting this trend line. Okay, for the purpose of this video, let me just clear everything so that you guys can see it properly. save that picture. So yeah, let me first of all delete this now. Okay, now let's go to the forward time frame. Now the first thing I'll be doing is deleting this trend line because it has broken, it has been broken, it has served its purpose, so it's no longer useful to us to clean that. Alright, so next up, now you can see very well this trend line has been tested kind of, so we're going to be collecting that, and it should now be here, it should now be there. Alright, so that's okay. Alright, so let's now go into what is the market saying. What am I understanding from what I'm seeing? Now, market has been selling for a very long time. I mean, almost since the beginning of the year. Yeah, since February, market has been on a sell trend. There had little pullbacks here and there, but it has majorly been on a sell. Now, multiple times it has looked like they are ready to buy because I've had multiple trend line breaks even before now, but it has not really given us the higher time frame structure that will let us say, okay, now we're in a buy market. It has not really given us that, and that has been the damping factor for the buy buyers. Right, today is 6th of July and we're having a news. I'm just trying to look at the news for the week first. 8th of July, FOMC, that's on Wednesday, on Thursday. So we have news today, then we have one on Wednesday and on Thursday. So yes, news will greatly affect the market. So what am I seeing now? Currently, from this 4-hour time frame, I would still look at things as we are in a sell market. Now, what's my first reason? Now, this currency, let me see that something. Now, a trend line is stronger depending on what amount of time it covers, like how much data does that trend line carry. And at this time, this trend line is my main trend line. Currently, with where market is, this trend line is the strongest trend line and resting line when it comes to decision making. Now, because of how little the data is under this trend line is my sub trend line. What is not the strongest decision making line, but rather this is. So now, if you remember, we just had a trend line break from that trend line, that first trend line I deleted, and currently on the higher time frame, my bias is a sell. My bias is a sell at this moment. Now, it can change in the middle of the week, but right now, as I'm seeing things, my bias is still fixed on a sell. I've not seen, from the market structure, I've not seen any big reason to change my bias as a whole to buy. Now, I know coming on the 15-minute time frame, I said that last week I would have changed my bias to buy, maybe. But remember that we just look at the 4-hour time frame, and the higher time frame carries more power. Now, yes, there might be pullbacks here and there, and that is what this has been from my own point of view. Now, I'm making this analysis at 5 a.m. on Monday morning. Middle of the day, if I see that market comes and breaks this trend line again, My buyer's routine, we buy for the week, or rather for the day, because I wouldn't want to use one day's decision to cover the entire week. It has to be very flexible when it comes to decision making and market movement. Right? So currently my buyer for the week is sale. So I will be looking into maybe sales this week, because one, we have this trend line break, this upward trend, and we have this trend line down. Yes, this upward trend line now is giving us a break, and for those of you that might know, this is almost a double top that is being formed, and from the looks of market movement is being expected. So currently, as things stand, I will be looking forward to a sell this week. Majorly market for a sell this week, market to sell this week. And yeah, that's just my little top down analysis. Usually not something much, simple and straightforward. So now we just wait and see how market plays out. So yeah, now for the little story that I'm Benedict, for a trader, been trading for a while, and yeah, I've not really gotten down a strategy per se over the while. So that's why I'm currently doing a 6 months plan. I've gathered all the knowledge that I have in trading, and I've put it together to give me a clear and straightforward strategy. And yeah, so that's what I'm trading now. The 6 months started in July, and we're currently in July, so we're running for the rest of the year. Just one strategy, journaling on a daily basis, one pair, and that's all we're looking to work with. I'll just show you guys my past record, because I did not just come up with it and then start testing it. No, I've tested it before looking it in both on old market data and live market data as well. So yes, make sure to subscribe, keep your notification on, drop one or two comments, any questions, any motivation, and yeah, let's go through this journey together. So yeah, that's the video for now. Peace out.